Test. Test. Is it live? Okay. I think it's live. Yay, I'm live. Okay. Okay, this is cool. Um let me just check how it would look on the watch page for a bit, because I am running the stream alone, and I want to make sure that everything is okay. Okay. So, I did not ooh, look at the stream health. It's great. I've never had it to be green before. Anyways, okay. So I'll probably save this into a podcast. I'm gonna start that now because I have this awesome mic that I don't really know what to do with except for talking into it. um so yeah. Okay. Also, I know there isn't a notification, hence why there isn't anyone watching. But or is there someone watching? Um uh, I see one watching, but I don't know if that's me. um okay. So it's just gonna be another one of those streams where podcast won't have my face anyway. Streams where I'm not gonna show my face because it's late and I don't really want to dress up. So anyways, okay. So if you haven't read in the description, the idea for this, it comes because I was in a personality lecture, and we were talking about optimism, and why is it suddenly low? Great. You say it's great, it's green for once, and then it's just kind of, oops, you jinxed it. Now you get that. Yay. Now you get red. Great. Anyways. Okay. So I was in a personality lecture, and we were talking about, not we, sorry, the lecturer was talking she was talking about the topic was optimism, positive psychology and all, and the theories of optimism, I think. And one of the main theories was where hope was where I don't know hope. And there is a thing called false hope syndrome, and it was just like briefly said, like brushed aside for a bit. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of learn together with y'all, with everyone, because I don't have as much time as I did at the beginning of semester, because now I have to like start thinking about. I just finished one big coursework, and it was about talking, and that's like, I think, one of my biggest strengths. And I actually got a good mark for it compared to like other assignments. And I am also kind of nervous because I will get my exam marks about next week or this week if your week starts on Sunday. Um so there's that. I hope my mom or my dad is not listening, because then they would know that my exam marks are coming next week. I am so freaking nervous because I can only vouch for like half of those exams, for half marks for each of those exams. Like, I know I probably won't fail, but I don't think I'm gonna get a good mark either, because I don't know. I mean, the difference is that, like, because I think it's just the threshold is just really high. Sorry, not threshold. Like the standards are like really high as compared to like my previous uni, which is, I don't know. I guess in that population, I'm probably kind of slightly above average, and this one I'm barely average, and that kind of sucks. Um, but yeah. Anyways, that's not what this stream is about. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna read to you an excerpt from the book that I've referenced in the description below. I'm going to talk about what it talks about false hope syndrome. Now, I have not done a lot of research on my own about this, and I will be basing what I'm talking about based on just one source. So, hopefully, it'll be, if you want to know more, you can probably find more on your own. I guess. I don't know. Okay, so I guess without further ado, let's continue to read. Oh, also, so that's the first part of the live stream. It would be just me reading the excerpt and talking about it. And then the next part is where I'm gonna talk about how it relates to my personal life. I don't know. I've given it a bit of a glance. I don't know if it actually would relate much to what I want to talk about my life. My love life. I mean, it's not really there, but you know. Anyways, a consideration of false hope. We're starting. Okay, get ready. I don't know if you can hear this. Because the stream health is still red. My internet has not been very good lately, and I don't know what to do, to be honest. So there's that. Anyways, a consideration of false hope. Although we have looked in detail at the theory of hope, the beginnings of a debate are emerging within this arena as to the concept of false hope. Now, it is worth noting that although the concept of false hope has been suggested, there's still no real evidence for its existence. Okay, so hold on. I just realized, I think this book is the 4th edition. I'm not sure what this. Oh, this is 2017, not 2010. The description is wrong. It's not 2010. It's 2017. So it's really very recent. Anyways, okay, let's continue. No real evidence for its existence. Indeed, Snyder himself has vehemently disputed the arguments set out so far. However, it is still worth commenting on the debate. To give you some idea of the debate over false hope, we will briefly present the case in terms of researchers who are for and against this concept. The argument for false hope has been put forward by 2 Canadian psychologists, Jeanette Polivy and C.P. Herman, 2002. Snyder and his colleague K.L. Rand have put forth arguments against the Canadians' claim. Wait. Oh, so Snyder said... So basically, Snyder is like, false hope doesn't exist. Whereas Polivy and Herman would say that they do. So, okay. So let's see Polivy and Herman's argument. Polivy and Herman argue that despite repeated failure by some individuals to change aspects of their behavior, these people continue to make frequent attempts at self-change. These researchers have described the cycle of failure and persistent effort as a false hope syndrome. The types of self-change they are talking about within this debate are behaviors such as dieting, giving up smoking, and abstaining alcohol. The researchers' argument for this syndrome is that although these people hope to make these changes in their life, their hopes are unrealistic. Polivy and Herman sum up their ideas within a false hope model. So I'm going to show it to you now. Let me just look at editor. I'm gonna show it to you now. Whoops. Whoops. There you go. Now that's the false hope syndrome model. Yeah. I think we'll talk about it in a bit. Which is now. Yeah, we're gonna do it now. First, they suggest that these people produce unrealistic expectations. For example, how quickly things will change. Things will change and how quickly these changes will take effect. Speed. How easy these changes will be. Ease. The amount of effort that will be needed to make the change. Amount. Rewards that they will receive from making these changes, consequences or reward. So you start at unrealistic expectations, and then you go on to just follow this error. This is very start, unrealistic expectation. So Polivy and Herman do suggest that the decision to make these changes does initially make the individual feel more control more in control of their life, and so the self-change effort begins. Well, with some success. However, Polivy and Herman suggest that as time goes by and the effort continues, these people find it more difficult to sustain the effort owing to the unrealistic expectations in the first place and until no further progress is made. So let's review how it is in the model. Okay, so first we start with unrealistic expectations, and then when you have these expectations, you become committed to change, where you kind of feel in control of yourself. So you make efforts, right? Initial efforts, but then until no further progress is made, you begin to resist change. So an example of this, given by Polivy and Herman, occurs when a person has set an unrealistic weight loss goal in an unrealistic period of time. They begin in earnest, but soon find that the amount of dieting to achieve that certain weight loss is too difficult, and maybe they aren't losing the weight quickly enough. Hence, resistance to change, abandon attempt. Then they then begin to stray from their goal and find that they are no longer losing weight. Yeah, abandon attempt. Polivy and Herman argue that once one or more relapses have occurred, the person will abandon the effort. They will now deem themselves as failure, attributions for failure, and probably feel worse than they did to start with. They may then try to soften the failure by making certain attributions to explain it away, perhaps shifting the blame away from the unrealistic goal altogether, and maybe leading to starting the whole thing again. If, however, they had certain realistic goals and had not hoped for so much, they may actually have succeeded. Polivy and Herman suggest there are three forms of false hope: expectancies that are based on illusions instead of reality, inappropriate goals, poor strategies to reach the desired goals, and poor strategies to reach the desired goals. We have briefly presented the case for false hope. Now let us consider Snyder's argument that there is no empirical support for Polivy and Herman's model. That's basically the main argument against this thing. They argue that Polivy and Herman present no clear definitions for false hope, or indeed for false hope itself. Snyder and Wren suggest that hope is more than simply self-change. Also, according to Snyder and Wren, Polivy and Herman do not consider individual differences or permutations on their predictions, and so do not show possible different outcomes. Snyder also worries about the suggestion in the false hope model that people would be healthier if they did not pursue their self-change goals. Surely, when using examples of giving up smoking and alcohol, it is better to keep trying to quit than not to try at all. Finally, Snyder and Wren argue against Polivy and Herman's ideas by referring to differences between low hope and high hope people. They argue that research has shown that high hope people always have related to that's a weird sentence. Related to better outcomes in academics, athletics, well-being, and psychotherapy. Snyder and Wren debate the three forms of false hope put forward by Polivy and Herman: expectancies that are based on illusions instead of reality, inappropriate goals, poor strategies to reach the desired goals. Okay. There's only three, right? Of course. Snyder argues that there is no existing evidence to support this model for high hope people. First, high hopers show only a slight positive bias. Okay, so they said about low hope and high hope people. So we did talk about it in the lecture, but I honest to God, I can't remember about it. But I think basically high hopes people are like people with high hopes, but also like they also have realistic ways to reach it, whereas low hopes low, and aim kind of low. I think that's it. I might be wrong. I think I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyways, in fact, Snyder and Wren suggest that extreme illusions suggest delusions through psychosis, not hope. For example, if a high hope person is looking to achieve weight loss, Then they will set a target of how much weight to lose within a given time frame. They may indeed set their weight loss target a little high, but it will nevertheless be achievable. They would not, as Polivy and Herman suggest, set an unrealistic weight loss target. Secondly, Snyder and Wren argue that suggesting high hopers have inappropriate goals is not evident in the research. In fact, people with lofty goals have been found to be no less likely to achieve them if they have strong pathways and agencies. A good example of a goal that may seem rather lofty would be that of becoming an actor. Snyder and Wren argued that if the person setting this goal is a high hoper, then they will set achievable or strong routes and agencies. These may include, for example, going to drama school, learning the ropes, and working up from the bottom so that the goal becomes achievable. Thirdly, Snyder and Wren argue that the suggestion of burst strategies is unfounded. High hopers have been found to generate much more effective routes, especially under impeding circumstances. In summary, although Snyder and Wren present a good case against the idea of false hope, the concept of false hope may be a consideration that needs to be taken into account when considering hope. Okay, so that's the end of it. That was short. Well, it is only like technically 1.5 page of text. Okay, so what have we learned from that? Oh, sorry. Let me just okay. Okay. So let's try to sum it up. Okay. So we have Polivy and Herman who are definitely for this model, this false hope thing, and they come up with this model, right? So they say that people with false hope would set unrealistic expectations, and then they would be committed to that change. Like they would possibly make all the efforts, and then yeah, just like I don't know, I guess commitment to change would also mean planning and then actually starting it. So that's when initial efforts start, and then you'll have resistance to change. Like your, I guess this resistance to change where the progress kind of stops is because you didn't develop the appropriate ways to get there. So when that change stops, you kind of stop. You stop the attempt altogether, and then I think attributions for failure, reasons for failure can be corrected. So then you kind of think about it again, and then you think, I actually can do this again, you know? And then you recommitted to the goal of whatever. So and then they said there are 3 forms of false hope. One is expectancies based on illusions instead of reality, inappropriate goals, and then poor strategies. So that's basically like the first 3 stages of the model. So you have unrealistic expectations, where you kind of just like imagine you're half your weight now, unless you're like really thin, then you're basically like nothing, I don't know. And then commitment to change would be when you start making plans, and that's when you start making like inappropriate goals to get that expectation of your goal. Okay. And then poor strategies. Oh, hold on. Inappropriate goals would be with unrealistic expectations. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. And then you'd have poor strategies to reach your desired goals. So like probably because you're kind of too caught up with the unrealistic expectations, so you kind of may, if I do this and this, and I'll definitely get this. But then like because the goals are inappropriate to begin with, you don't see much progress. So like you start to get I don't want to do this anymore. Um, yeah, and then so it kind of stopped. But then mm, so the partner really understand his attributions for failure and then the recommitment to goals. So let me just read that again. They begin to stray from their goal and find that they are no longer losing weight. Argue that once one or more lapses have occurred, the person will abandon the effort. They will now deem themselves as a failure and probably feel worse than they did to start with. They may then try to soften the failure by making certain attributions to explain the way, perhaps shifting the blame away from the unrealistic goal altogether, and maybe leading to starting the whole thing again. What do you mean? Oh, I see. So instead of blaming their own expectations, they instead blame their own goals or something like that, or like their own self for relapsing. So then they kind of so they like, okay, this is my cheat day, so tomorrow I'm gonna like start all over again, stuff like that. So that's how the cycle continues, I guess. I think that's how they say. And then Snyder and Ren said like um Snyder, hold on, let me just read this again. Snyder also worries about the suggestion in the false hope model that people would be healthier if they did not pursue their self-change goals. Okay. So this is where like it's kind of obvious. Like, isn't it better to try than like not try at all? Because like this whole model seems kind of negative, right? Like it's just a cycle. You try to do it, then you fail, then you try to do it again, then you fail, and then and like you will never get that goal. Like it seems like that, I think. And like so Snyder worries that it's not gonna be like helpful to anyone, because like this false hope is not healthy. Like, isn't it better that you keep on trying than you don't try at all, like, right? And yeah, I mean, I see his point, definitely. um and then they start talking about high hope people, and like people don't actually make unrealistic goals and whatever, or they don't have unrealistic expectations, and that if they do, it's usually because of psychosis instead of hope. I don't know. That feels a bit much, but I'm not the one. Oh, they said extreme illusions. Yeah. Then okay, then that makes sense. But if it's just like I guess unrealistic goals, to put it in terms of like what they've suggested, like losing weight, which is something I'm always struggling with. um is okay, like I target to lose I don't know pounds. I'll go with kilos. I target to lose 40 kilos. No, unrealistic. Okay, I target to lose 60 kilos. I'll be born and death, but 60 kilos, let's say, unrealistic. And then and to change that, I decided to, instead of making a healthy diet, I decided to go anorexic and not eat. And then I caved and ate, and then nothing happened, so I caved and I ate, and then I blame myself for eating, and then I start again with the anorexic thing. I guess that would be like the poor strategies to reach the goal. Or let's say I want to lose 60 kilos, and then I decide to eat better, but I don't want to exercise. So you have one unrealistic expectations, and then you have another poor goals. I mean, poor strategies. So so Snyder and Ren talk about high hope people is because why Snyder and Ren talk about high hope people instead of low hope people in for this model is because unrealistic expectations are usually made by, oh, why are there a lot of skip frames? I don't know. Well, it's not like it's moving, so it's probably fine. um yeah, okay, so it's probably because okay, yeah, I don't want yeah, okay. It's probably because unrealistic, only high hope people would make unrealistic expectations, but I guess the way Snyder defined 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 okay, defined high hope people is that they would have really high expectations, but they would also have good strategies to reach it. So that's why the idea to him, the idea of false hope is like not a thing, and this whole model kind of falls apart. And I think that's like about it. Basically, like the whole thing that I've been reading, that's about it. So, um, yeah, that's it. For the learning about it part of the model, part of the stream. So let's go and talk about what I want to talk about, my own personal life. So, um, you can like look away if you want, or click away because this is gonna get kind of personal, and I hope that the person I'm talking about or anyone that has never heard the story from me would like go away because this is kind of embarrassing to talk about, and I'm really hoping like nobody would listen. Okay? Anyways, so let's use this false hope syndrome model to relate to what I'm gonna talk about. Although I do acknowledge that this is in the context of like self change, like changing a behavior. I'm gonna try and relate it to my own, to what I'm talking about, and that is my air quotes love life. I don't have any, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. So let me just show you this good, cool image. This very, oh wait, hold on. There's no image at all. Hold on. I'll show you this image while I talk about it. Yeah. Okay. So this is just, so this is apart from the text, this image is from Google, and I did not do credit, I'm sorry, because I don't think the original, the where I found it from is actually the original poster, but whatever. Okay, so what I'm gonna talk about is because I'm gonna talk about it here because I've been talking to like a lot of my friends about it, and like only one or two person is still listening to me about this thing, because I don't know, it will never be solved, I think. It sucks. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna take you all the way to the beginning. Okay, so I've been liking this one person close to a decade now. This year would be the 9th year I've liked this person. I don't know how I've managed to like this person for like this long without like any physical contact. We don't see each other. So this person is someone from my high school. I will be 24 this year, so I began liking him when I was about 15. Seriously liking him when I was about 16. So really it's just been 8 years, but I want to be dramatic, so I'm gonna say 9. Oh man, I really hope nobody's listening. And like that one viewer is actually me. I don't know. Okay, so hold on. Yeah, okay, so this person is from my high school, and I met him when I was 13, because that's when we start high school. It's not high school like in Malaysia, it's called secondary school, but I call it high school. because it's I know, like, I don't know how it is anywhere else. I think in the US, high school is actually when you're like 15 and you'll get like 3 years of high school. But in Malaysia, you have primary and secondary. So primary would be like um uh elementary and half of middle school, and then secondary school will be half of latter half of middle school plus high school. So yeah, so when I was 13, I entered secondary school. And this guy, okay, so to give you a little bit of context, this school is a very small school. Like, my own batch is only like 30 people altogether. It's very, very small. Wait, was it 40 people? But then by the time we were like at the last year of high school, it's only 20 people or so. Yeah, so it's a very small school. And I've always liked English. Like, it's the subject that I cannot not like. But in primary school, like, I've never gotten the best at that subject. Weirdly, like, I've gotten the best in Malay, which is officially my native language, I guess. And Arabic, which is something we were like forced to learn from. Like, I was forced to learn from like primary school, and I've learned about it like up until university, and I still can't talk in it. I know. I mean, I understand if you talk to me about it in Arabic, but I can't reply to you in Arabic. I'm sorry. I didn't like learning it. I've only had one or two good experiences learning Arabic, but the rest has been really boring, and I didn't really like it that much because I feel forced. And um yeah, like, forcing does not make me want to learn about it, I guess. Even when I got an award for it, I never tried to like it. Whereas English, the only time I did got an award for it was when I was 16. And that is the second last year of high school, and that's kind of like my last chance to get an award for best of anything, and I got finally. At least, like, I can leave my school days feeling good. Anyways, you might think why I'm talking about this. Okay, so that's a bit too much of a context. So in this school, right, I was hoping to get like at least the best in that. So if anyone not from Malaysia is listening, uh at least the kids from the school I've been into, it's like the cool ones are the smart ones. Okay, these are the people that you want to be close with, the smart ones, because they have the because like all we care about is grades, and like, not if you're smart, you're popular, basically. And popular equates to really nice, really smart, and really close to the teacher. Like, you want to be the teacher's pet because the teacher's pet are cool. I don't know, like, it's a weirder dynamic compared to like probably other schools, but that's always been my experience with schools. Like, if you're smart, if the smartest, you're like the best person there, like, you're the most popular, like, whoa, you're like, whoa. Like, how you would look at the popular girls, I guess. Yeah, anyways, oh man, I'm always like off topic. Anyways, yeah, so when I got into high school, secondary, I'm gonna say high school because it's much easier to say than secondary school. So when I got into high school, I was hoping, given that the very low pool of competitors, and like after several tests and classes, it's kind of clear that there's not a lot of people who are actually good at English. There are people who are good at English, but like not good, like excellent. And I was excellent, I think. I like to think. But then While I think we had like supplementary classes on Saturdays, because you do that with kids. um and I was kind of I'm always like close to the English teachers, not so much the other teachers, but I am kind of close to the English teachers, but like in a way student teachers are not like friends or anything. Anyways, um and I had the opportunity to like I this was still when I was 13, kind of sift through people's essays, and and like I was kind of fishing the teacher for like who's the best in English, and then I thought that she was gonna say me, but she said no, it's this boy from this other class. Oh, by the way, our batch is like only two classes, so I was in the one class and he was in the other class, and then my teacher said it was this guy. I was like, wait, hold on, what the hell? And then I saw his essay and it's like, okay, oh my god, okay, this guy is no joke. And like guess what, for the next 3 years he would be the one who gets that award, the best in English awards. And honestly, I hated it. I hate that guy's face until I was 15. And I thought, like, what would be fun if I actually liked this guy. So back then I did this thing to motivate myself to go to school, which is kind of stupid. Which is very stupid, not kind of, very stupid. Where I kind of pick one guy every year to like to have a crush on, and just to like motivate myself to go to school so I can see the guy's face, because I wasn't really fond of learning back then. But I mean, compared to now, I go to school because I want to go to school. Like, if I don't want to go to school, I want to go for masters, I want to go for like research stuff. I mean, I'm still in coursework, but I am thinking of research stuff later on. Anyways, yeah, so that was my main motivation to go to school. I've been doing that since I was 7. Anyways, like if I go deep into that, it's gonna be like a very, very long stream, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not I'm not gonna say it's a horny thing to do. It's just, like, oh my god, I like to see that guy's face, stuff like that. Like, because I was also kind of, I don't know, like, very, very, how you say, very interested in relationships, but like at the time I don't know what that means. It's just, it's fun to see in all the dramas, because my mom did like watching all those dramas, and she had like all these romance novels that because I was a fast reader, and by the time I was 6, I got really bored with like all the kid books, so I wanted to read something challenging. So I picked up my mom's romance books, romance novels, and those were like 600 pages long. I kid you not. I could finish it in like a week. No, actually, I think I finished it in 3 days. I'm not sure, but that was how much that I think that was how I was kind of brainwashed into thinking, oh my gosh, relationships are awesome. I want to try it, or at least I like imagining about it. So I think that was how it kind of developed. And it's taken years of like mentally conditioning myself to get over it, because even until now, my main goal in life was to get married, start a family. um doesn't And I'm gonna get into that in a bit, but yeah, okay. Anyways, where was I in my story? Oh yeah, okay. So until I picked like a guy every year to like. Yeah. uh, just so I would be motivated to go to school. And oh yeah, my secondary, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but my secondary school, my high school is actually a boarding school. So yeah, I don't, there's not much to tell there. It's just I see a lot more of these people as compared to like as I was in primary school, where I just see them on school hours. But here can see them not just in classes, but also in like meal times and prep times, stuff like that. It was fun. uh, Man, I really liked high school. I mean, that sure it was the time where I figure out that I have depression, and what friends really mean and stuff like that. It was fun. Like, it was not. I can look at those days very fondly for sure. Um, Anyways, yeah. So, and on my 15th year of life, I decided this would be fun. It would be fun to like this guy, and like if we do kind of end up with each other, there's gotta be like a cool story to tell. But rivalry has always been like my own one-sided thing, because this person is actually really smart. Like, I don't know if he's really smart or he's just like really studious. I don't know. I think he's just one of those, like, he just has like a very good brain or something, because he excels in not just English but also other stuff like maths and science stuff. Anyways, yeah. So I think the rivalry is like one-sided on my part. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, cool story to tell. And I thought, like, because usually, like, in all my experiences, these crushes, they never lasted more than a year. So, like, I thought, okay, so this year I'm gonna go with this guy, because there's like really a small pool of guys that I thought, you know what, let's just date this guy. He's in my class. We kind of have a good story to tell if we do kind of end up with each other. So yeah. But then little did I know it was gonna stick until I'm almost 24. And like, that's so stupid. Who likes someone for that long and like not have anything happen to them at all? Like, yeah. Um. Okay, I'm sorry. I know we're like straying far away from the false hope thing. We're gonna come back to that in a bit. Don't worry. Okay, hold on. Um. Okay, so, yeah. Uh. uh so the thing is, with a lot of like my crushes, I was not as confident as I am currently. I was very, very quiet, you can say, all throughout my school life. It was only until I was in university and decided to kind of like change myself up a bit that I got more outspoken, and I am more confident talking to other people, even not in English. um um yeah, but in high school, I was the quiet one. And I I've always been struggling with weight stuff since I was like, I don't know, I think since I was born. No, not really, because my mom said I had like very normal weight. Um I don't know. I think it was until from when I was since I started school. Anyways, yeah, I wasn't the very most confident persons, and I have this thing where I'm kind of scared of guys. I think I like talking to them is a sin, and I can't talk to them at all. I don't know who kind of ingrained that in my mind, but I feel like that was how it was. And like, if any guy talked to me, I would like not give eye contact. I would keep it short and brief, very, very curt, and then like once it is done, just run, get out of there, like get the heck out of there. So the thing with my crushes, it's never lasted more than a year, and it's always been like a very very school thing where I would just kind of like, oh, stick glances, and then, oh my gosh, that guy's here, and then like kind of happy, oh my gosh, we kind of wear the same thing to prep, the same color, and like, ooh, there's never actually any interactions with them. So yeah, so I think that's probably why they never lasted. And but then in my uh I don't know. I think by the time I was 16, I think puberty has kind of fully set in, and I began to think this is stupid. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop picking one guy each year. Either I think it was stupid, or it's just because there's no one else. There's no one else. So I think I kind of stopped. And then another thing about me. Oh, this is very long. I'm so sorry. But I have fun talking about it. I'm just gonna keep talking about it. Um, Another thing about me is I am involved almost every year with my school's English drama production, or you can call it play, but we call it drama because the play is a drama. So I started as one of the ones who were I started when I was 14, and I did like a skeleton draft, and then they kind of just rip all that apart and just keep like one scene, and not even a scene, it's just the setting of that scene. And then like the teachers and the seniors reworked that to kind of have more story and stuff. So that's when I started involving myself in it. So then by the time I was 16, then the next year, when I was 15, I was the screenwriter. I was the co-screenwriter with another senior. And then when I was 16, I was like the main screenwriter. Now when I was 17, I'm the screenwriter and sorry, is it screenwriter? I don't think it's screenwriter. It's script writer. I don't know. It's a play. I don't know. And I was the only script writer. I'm gonna say script writer. and and we got and this guy that I liked when I was 15 got involved in it, and got involved in the production of the play. And I think he was the director. I think he was the director. Usually it's the very senior of the one who the very very senior of like the school would direct it. But this time the very senior is like us 16, because there was no guys in the oldest batch, so they had to take the second oldest, which is ours. I'm not gonna go into it. So yeah, this guy was the director and I was the scriptwriter. And I think at that time we get to like interact a lot more, and like for some reason this guy is just so easy to talk with, even if he kind of gets on my nerves sometimes. But it's not like, oh, I want to choke this guy until he dies, but I just want to choke this guy for fun. Like the things he'd say, and like like I'll say that he's the first guy that I kind of feel at ease talking to. And then I guess I started liking him for real. Yeah, I think it's because I find it easy to talk with him as compared to like other guys. I don't know why. I think it's because it stems from like we have like a good medium, that is we're both good at English, and like English is easy to talk in, because unlike Malay, we have like a lot of pronouns, like first person pronouns, that depends on how your relationship is with someone. And you have like one very informal one, and then one that is kind of very formal, and then the other one that's informal but kind of used with like girls only. And it's I don't like Malay because of that. Like other parts are fine. I never know what kind of pronoun to use with someone. Unless they start it first. You know, it never gets easier. It gets harder when you're like older. Anyway, so I've resolved to talk in English for a lot. So yeah, that could be one of the reasons. But I don't know. I feel like we're kind of in the same wavelengths as well, and I didn't know like a guy could like the same things that I like and stuff like that. Um, Although I don't know, yeah, I think that was why. That was why I started liking him, because I think he's the first guy that I actually ever truly interacted with. Um, so yeah, this thing went on until we're like 17, because we're kind of like the two best in English for my batch, for the batch. And I don't. I mean, I. Oh man. Oh man. That was some good times, I swear. But I don't know if I will cry. I think I will. There is a very likely chance that I will cry, and even if this stream is like gone or whatever, I am recording it, so there will still be a thing. Okay. Anyways, so right after SPM, which is like this, which is kind of like O levels, I guess, like this very big exam that all people who are leaving high school would have to take in order to leave, I guess. And after that, you'll have like foundation or matriculation studies, and then you go for degree. That's how our education system works. And yeah, right until school finish, I still like him, and it's kind of weird because it's been 2 years and I still like this guy, and like I never had that. It's so weird. And and all my friends have been saying like, oh, nah, you'll get over it. Like, you're gonna go to university. There's gonna be a lot of guys that you'll talk to that you'll like more, you know? So yeah. So this guy and I think we became Facebook friends. So I don't remember if we ever did talk all the while there was a gap between starting studies and finishing our high school studies and starting a new study. Like, I think we did talk, but like not very frequent. So, and then yeah. Huh. So then let's just fast forward, because I don't remember that time. Fast forward to foundation and then degree years, and we still talk. We talk a lot, and then like around my second year, I think, around when I was in second year of degree, so I was like 21, I guess 21. I graduated, yeah, 21. I think we kind of start talking a lot more, like very frequently, and at this point, I still like this guy. And oh wait, hold on, I think I fast forward too much. Okay, in my foundation studies, I began to like, why do I have to do this again? Because I still haven't like studying, because I didn't get the course that I want. I don't actually know what I want to do. So I went to classes, and then and then to motivate myself to go to class, I thought, you know what, why don't I start it up again? Why don't I pick one guy to like for this year? And then, you know, so I picked one, but then it never stuck, even though we did talk a lot. There are a lot of like co-ed group assignments, you know. We did talk a lot, but I don't know, I guess I didn't really like this guy. I picked him because he was nice. He is nice, but I don't know. It could be because of like we're not exactly in the same proficiency of English, but I don't know. It never stuck. Um, so I've done so when I so in my foundation years, I still wasn't like the most confident person. I'm still kind of like the same person I was in high school, kind of shy and everything, especially because it's a very new environment and I don't know anyone. I've never like gone to a new environment and not know anyone at that point. So I kept to myself, and then what went worse is that I got dengue right at the start of my orientation. So I didn't know, I came late and I didn't make know anyone, but it all works out by the end though, so good ending there. Yeah, so yeah, it never stuck. So that I thought, well, I mean, I still like this person that I liked in high school. So then I thought, in it I'll find someone in degree. There's still like 4 years of that, I'll find someone. um but then but then like it still goes on. Like, there's not a lot of people who are good at English at the same level of proficiency as I am. So I could never actually kind of relate with them. um so I yeah, that's not gonna happen. So then I started to look at like people in my English class, because in university they start to segregate based on like your English level. So because my English level is quite high, I got into like the toppest of the top as I should. Anyways, um but there's not a lot of guys there. This university is also like relatively small as compared to other public universities. And it is kind of more rural-ish place. Like, there's a lot more people who comes from rural backgrounds, I guess. Like, not a lot of people are like at my level of English proficiency. There are more people at my level of English proficiency, at least. But yeah, not a lot of guys still. So again, my pole is very very like short. So I didn't do that thing again though. So kudos to me. Anyway, yeah, I didn't do that thing again. Uh but and with these guys, I talk a lot. Like, they also like the same things I like. Yeah, but never really connected. Like, I don't feel about them the way that I would about the guy that I like in high school, even though like in theory I should, because one, they speak at my level of proficiency. Two, they like what I like. And three, there's the proximity stuff. Like, we do a lot of things. We do a lot of assignments together. There's interaction and everything, but I just didn't feel it, So then, in my third year, I entered the debate club and the English debate club, and there are a lot more guys there, who aren't exactly at my level of English proficiency, but we can talk a lot more because they're at my level of knowledge, at least. So it's really fun to talk to them. They are even like people my age, but yeah, again, no feelings, nothing. I swear, I interacted with these guys a lot more than I did with like the guy from my high school. Like, in physical activities wise, like not that kind, just we just hang out a lot together. And don't worry, it's never just me alone. There's like other girls as well. I'm still in the halal zone. Yeah, like nothing. I swear, I can only see them as friends. But I can only see that guy as someone I like, and also my friend. And by this point, we talk a lot already. So, he is my friend. I don't know if he'll say it though. Not, I don't know. So, Anyway, that was a really long segue. I think that was like 30 minutes of just my backstory about this guy. So let's go back to false hope, shall we? Let me just show you that and then hide that. Okay. So okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to say this very important like milestone. Anyways, so when I was in, I think my third year, or yeah. It's the second half of my third year. I remember it was July of 2017. I actually confessed to this guy. What I did was um I I teached him how to do ciphers. A very simple one, the Caesar cipher. So, and give him the code, and then I made my own text, and then coded it, and then give it to him for him to decipher from the cipher that I taught him. And then and in and that text is just me telling him that I really like him, it's a short one because I don't want him to take too much time to decode it. So that was it. That was how I confessed. You guys. And then, but he took a while to respond. I think, it was I remember it being really torturous because we didn't talk at all, at all. I don't know. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks. It was, and I like really spiraled a lot also. And then it was finally time for him to give like his reply, and I didn't I didn't expect him to reply that fast, because to be honest, I was hoping for it to be like, hey dude, I like you, reply back when you like me. I didn't say that explicitly, of course. It's just I never implied as well. I think I just said, just reply back when you're ready. But yeah, he said can only see me as a friend and stuff. Like, he finds me easy to talk to as well, but can only see me as a friend, and that's just how it is. So then fast forward to this year. I think it was this year. Oh my gosh, this year it would have been like almost 2 years. 2 years after that confession. 1 year and a half. 1 year and a half after that confession. I think I was kind of in a weird mood, as I do. And I asked him, like, what's the possibility of us getting together in the end? And he's like, okay, 40%. I was like, whoa. Because I was inspired from Santa Clarita Diet, because this guy likes the girl, and the girl said they only have 3% chance of being together, but in the end they kind of kissed, and like, whoa, that's 3%. And then this guy that I like said 40%, and like, whoa, that's a lot. I was actually I thought it would be like in the tens or something, but 40 is almost half. Like, whoa, that's a lot. But then like I started to ask like what's my importance to him and stuff like that, and it's kind of clear that I'm not the most important person in his life. I'm just someone who he can talk to about stuff that we like, so there's that. So I have this feeling that the 40% is like, okay, you know what, I'll settle. I'll take you to settle. And then and at this point in my life, after being about in 9 years of unrequited love, I don't think it's love. I don't want to say it's love. I'm just gonna stick with extreme like. It's not. It's almost. I don't think it's love. I don't want to say it's love. As myself, I would I have developed a lot of strategies in which I try to move on but still be friends with this guy, because I really like this guy. This guy is like one of the source of my happiness, like one of the source of how I can actually feel things more than I do apart from like movies and stuff, because that's really when the feelings are intense. um and but and that's why I was thinking of the false hope syndrome. Like the false hope is false hope that is it false hope it to hope that I will actually get over this guy, because at this point I'm almost at the age where my mom get married to my dad, where my parents got married. They're the same age. They got married at 24, had me at 25. And I'm almost 24. I'll be 24 in like 5 months, you guys. Oh my gosh, 5 months. 5 months. 5 months. That's not a long time. And with my friends all getting married and starting jobs, and I'm still here, still learning. And he's also still learning because he's studying. I don't want to say what he is studying, but he's still learning. He's still in a tertiary institution. Yeah, okay. So at this point it's like, man. Oh, by the way, I definitely cannot like any of the guys here, because one, they probably have they're not of the same country for me, and my type is really not Western. I don't find that. I mean, it's not attractive to me. They're attractive, just not to me. Like, okay, this guy's handsome and everything, man. I don't like your face. Not my type of face. Anyways, so yeah. So is my hope to to forget this guy false hope or not? That's what I want to see in this model. So I am setting the air quotes unrealistic expectation as getting over this guy. So what are my plans to do it? 1, not think about him. Which is hard to do when a lot of my hobbies are his hobbies as well. So whenever I see or play something, I want to share it with him. Like he's the only person I can share it with, because all my other friends are not interested in listening to me talking about this stuff, or the guys that I are interested in what I'm interested in already has a significant other, so I don't want to mess with that unless I know their significant other. I mean, to be honest, I'm not like somebody would see it as threatening to their relationship. Like, not that pretty, not that smart, does not have a good personality, talk a lot, and weird. So, people will probably won't be intimidated by me. So, but I myself, I'm not very comfortable with talking to people who already has someone if I don't know who their someone is. So yeah. Anyways, what was I talking about again? I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah. And to be honest, I haven't really done a lot of the things that we both like, because I don't want to think about him. I don't like so that was one of my strategies, not think about him. By not thinking about him is by not doing what I like to do, which sucks, because I sometimes really want to do it, but like, no, if you do it, then you're gonna want to share with him, you're gonna want to talk to him more, and the more you talk to him, the more you think about him, the less likely you will be to forget him or stop liking him. And this false hope, this expectation that I have is to to not like him in that way anymore, but still be friends with him. So I'm trying to find ways that I can do that because I don't want to lose a friend, you know. I don't have a lot of friends. And when I do have one, I like I don't want to lose contact with them at all. If possible, like if I can help it, I will not do that. Like I will, if I find this person like super very dear to me, I'll always find something to talk with them, like a topic that I can think of just to talk with them, you know. uh yeah. So I don't want to I don't want to like lose a friend, because friends are kind of hard for me to get. um so I'm really trying to do that. And you know, like he has repeatedly told me to get this new friends, but it's just really hard for me to do you like? I don't like it when he tells me to do that, because it feels like I don't want to be your only friend. Find some more friends so that you don't have to be I don't have to be your only friend. You know? I'm sorry. It's just I think one of the things is that I'm also very loyal. Like even if I don't like something, I would still stick to it to the end. Like even if there's no kind of benefit or anything, I chose it. I have to be responsible for it. So I'll stick to it. But this I don't think this is the case. I mean, it could be the case with this why I still like this guy, um but I don't think it's like the biggest part of why. Anyways, so unrealistic expectations done. Poor strategies. I don't know. Is that poor? Is the only solution to moving on for to cut off contact with this guy all together? Cause that sucks. That would really suck, and I don't want to do that. I really really don't, because as I said, friends are hard to come, like real good friends are hard to come by for me, you know? And like at this point, I don't even know if there would be anyone for me. Oh man, I'm totally gonna spiral into this after this, which is not good because I do have a class tomorrow, but it's only at 4. So, anyways, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think that's my only strategy, wasn't it? Just don't think about him like that. Don't try not to make try conversation with him. Let him start, because sometimes most of the time when I try to, I get like ignored. So there's that. Like I understand he's the kind of guy who like get busy and then forget that you actually talk to him. Um I know that's like uh probably like most of the cases, but you know, sometimes I am also like very weird. I would like to talk about very weird stuff, so I'm not gonna talk about that. Anyways, I don't know, man. It's like at this point, if I can't, I've also gone to work. By the way, I've worked for like 9 months, um, right after degree. Yeah, and still no. Sure, the guy pool is also very small there, and like there is no guys my age and or my race, because I no actually it's not really like a race thing either. As long as they're Asian, I'm fine. Because that's the kind of face that I like, that I'm attracted to. Yeah, anyways. What was I saying? I'm sorry. Yeah, and I swear it's just so hard. I don't know why. It's like if I can't move on now, will I ever move on? So that's where the resistance to change comes, because there's no progress. I'm not thinking about this guy, I'm always kind of thinking about him, and then and then